Hello everyone, my name is Allison from AllisonReeves.co, and in this video, I want to tell you guys how to get to 10K months consistently. This is not really involving passive income. It's not really talking about drop shipping. And today we're really just focused on getting to those 10K months as easily as possible. So in order to get to 10K months or even 8K months, which is your first six-figure year, there's only really three things you need. And while three things is not very many things, there's a lot of different ways you can accomplish each of those things. So we'll dive into that too, and why, like, if it's so easy to get to 10K months, why isn't everybody doing it, right? So the only three things you need in order to get to 10K months are: number one, you need a really good offer. An offer is the thing that you're selling. And the reason why we call it an offer instead of just a product is because offer kind of encapsulates the intricacies of like sophistication, right? So I can sell like a checklist for decluttering, but if I'm going to sell a program where I'm going to work with you one-on-one to help you declutter so that you never have a cluttered house ever again, that's a much more sophisticated offer, right? So an offer, more than just like a product, we're kind of encapsulating the sophistication. And I'll talk more about that in a second. The second thing that you need in order to get to, consistent 10K months is leads. Duh. And of course, what you're selling is going to inform like how you're getting leads. And so that's why, in number one, with your offer, that is the most important thing in this equation. I'll talk more about that in a second. I'm getting ahead of myself. So the second thing we need to get to 10K months is leads. And the last thing you need in order to get to 10K months is sales. And that doesn't just mean like I have to have people buying the thing from me, obviously, but sales also involves the way and the mechanisms in which you are getting sales. And again, the way that you're getting sales is going to be heavily informed by the thing that you're selling. And so let's kind of talk about like the main ways to make money as an entrepreneur online, because that's kind of my main area of expertise. So the three things I focus on most and help clients with are content creators with a volume-based business. And on the other side, like the other path, is coaching, consulting, and service-based businesses. So these two things encapsulate most online businesses. The only thing I'm not really mentioning is physical products, which can kind of go into the content creator volume-based bucket unless you're doing high-cost physical products. So we have these two buckets, these two ways to make money online. One of them is going to be low-cost products, which means that in order to get to 10K months, you need high volume. Hi, Mom. My mom never comes to these lives. Hi, Mom. And then we have coaching, consulting, and service-based businesses. And on that side, we have maybe less volume. So when I have a client who tells me they're interested in coaching, consulting, or services, I always want to push them in that direction, because the bottom line is that mathematically, it's easier to get to 10K months when you're selling higher cost offers. In my course, the Small Audience Sales System, which I also sell as a coaching program, we can use the Small Audience Sales System to sell anything from $10 to $20,000 or more, right? So we can use a Small Audience Sales System to sell anything. But when we are working with a small audience, if you think about, I want to get to 10K months as soon as possible. Well, if you're using the Small Audience Sales System to sell a $5 course, like how many, what's the math on that? How many $5 things do I have to sell to get to $10,000? Can someone do the math faster than me? No, 2,000. So if I want to sell 2,000 things, it means I have to have a pretty large audience. So you can get sales with a small audience for a $5 product, but if you're looking to get to 10K months as soon as possible, you probably want to lean into something that costs at least a few $100s. So instead of selling a decluttering checklist, again, like the example that I referenced earlier, instead of selling a decluttering checklist, why not we sell some kind of coaching or consulting or mentorship package, or even a high cost course where I walk you through a customized process of not just decluttering, but making sure that as a mom with kids, your house is never decluttered again. And then we also work on decluttering your mind or whatever, right? So that's a lot more sophisticated. We could charge more than $15 for that. So the three things you need in order to get to consistent 10K months are a really good offer and leads, and then sales. And so let's go back to talking about the offer again. This is already what I've been alluding to. When you have a low cost offer, right, that's going to inform how you're getting your leads. And when you have a high cost offer, that informs how you're getting your leads. So with a low cost offer, we need a volume-based platform. And really any way you market, you're going to need a volume-based platform eventually. But when you're doing high ticket, You don't necessarily have to use a volume-based platform at first. And this is great if you have no existing audience, because you can have a bigger impact on your income in the short term with a high cost offer. So generally speaking, whether you're doing volume-based business or a high cost offer, I recommend that you choose 2 platforms for leads, right? So talking about offers, now we're moving to leads. I recommend choosing 2 platforms to generate leads and traffic and visibility over time. One, I want you to be is conversation based, and the other is volume based. What do I mean by that? You need to choose a social media platform and prioritize, if you have a small audience for 10K months, prioritize a social media platform that is good for having conversations. So what platforms are good for having conversations? YouTube, maybe yes or no. Facebook and Instagram, yes, very good for having conversations. TikTok, kind of hit or miss for conversations, because you can't really DM people on TikTok unless you're following each other. You can't comment back and forth, just like on YouTube, you can comment back and forth, but there's no direct message, intimate conversations on YouTube or TikTok as they exist today when I'm recording this. But there are on Facebook and Instagram. And this goes for Facebook profile, this goes for Facebook page, Facebook group, and it goes for Instagram. So when you're looking at leads and growing visibility, you want to choose one platform for trust and conversation. And then you also want to choose one platform for volume, because even if you're trying to get to 10K months and you have no audience yet, you still eventually want to have an audience, right? So we also want to choose a platform that has the potential for volume. So one way that I teach clients to get sales is by using their personal Facebook profile. And we're following Facebook's terms of service. We're not being spammy. But on your Facebook personal profile, we're going to hit a limit of how many friends we could have. We can't message like a ton of people without being spammy. So your Facebook personal profile, even if you use that for business successfully, is not ultimately going to be a volume platform for you. It doesn't have unlimited growth potential. But what platforms do have unlimited growth potential? Well, a Facebook group does. A Facebook page does, although Facebook pages don't have great organic reach. But a Facebook page does have unlimited growth potential. Instagram has unlimited growth potential. Reels are even better for volume and growth potential. So if you're going to use Instagram and you're balancing short-term, well, we'll talk about balancing. I'll give you some examples of how you can choose 2 different platforms to work with each other. TikTok has great unlimited exponential growth potential. Pinterest, unlimited potential. SEO, search engine optimization for a blog, unlimited potential. So to kind of review, when you're looking at getting leads and visibility, you need to choose 2 platforms, one for building trust and conversation and one for volume. So here's some ways you can go about this. You could just use Instagram, and you can say, I'm going to use DMs and comments and posts to build trust and have conversations. And I'm going to use Reels and collaborations for volume potential. Or this is how I ran my coaching business for a long time. I used my personal Facebook profile for conversation, and I used the group and Pinterest for growth, volume, visibility potential. Then I have clients who use, I have one client who's using YouTube and Instagram. So YouTube and Instagram can both be that volume-based potential, but she's using Instagram for conversations. And she's also using her blog and her website. And then the last thing to get to consistent 10K months is to have sales strategies. So there's lots of ways to sell. And this is where, again, if you're doing volume-based versus higher ticket, your sales are going to divert. The way that you're selling is going to divert a lot. I will say for volume-based, you're either going to need a ton of traffic or you're going to need to do paid ads at some point. For coaching consulting based, you don't need high volume really ever. There's a lot of coaches and consultants and service-based businesses that never run ads or have high volume. And in fact, I would say my coaching business is an example of this, where even though I've got probably 5,000 people on my email list, I've got 3,000 people in my group, it's still not like massive amounts of visibility that I have for the consistent multiple 5-figure income that I have. So for sales, what do I want to say about sales? Not really sure. Your sales, so there's different ways you can sell. I'm like, I don't want to go down a rabbit hole. So for sales, the way that you're going to sell is going to change a lot, whether you're doing volume-based or coaching. So here's one example of how your sales paths are going to change. If I'm doing a volume-based business, I do not want to have a conversation with every single person who buys a $20 product. That would not make it very scalable. Whereas when I'm selling something for $1,000 or more, I'm willing to talk to almost everybody who buys that product. So if you're going to scale a volume-based business, you need a passive way to sell and automated way to sell. If you're going to scale a high-ticket based business, you don't necessarily have to have a passive funnel to sell it. So the three things you need to get to consistent 5-figure months are a really good offer, right? And then depending on whether that offer is high ticket or low ticket, then you're going to decide how you're going to get leads and how you're going to get sales. So hopefully this little kind of mini training was helpful. Thank you guys for watching and commenting while I was live. And of course, I'll post the replay. If you guys have any questions about this, I would recommend booking a call, and I have my link down below. We can have a conversation about this. Yeah, so let me know if you have any questions. I actually realized I just need to change the link. Okay, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.